The way the system works to benefit the few at the expense of all else is cunning and devilishly simple, but once you understand it, or even once you are made aware of its existence, how can you help but feel indignant? These elites have a two-tier system. They created a money supply and distribution hierarchy that keeps power concentrated in the hands of those with the most control over the bottom level, where the majority of us are forced to operate. Our financial system is designed to transfer your wealth from your hands to the wealthy. Do you wonder why there are piles and piles of paper money in circulation when its value continues to decrease? I do too. The Federal Reserve and the big banks control our money supply. They are responsible for the creation of money, which we all know is a form of debt. The Federal Reserve was created in 1913 as part of a plan to consolidate power in America by giving private bankers the ability to create money out of thin air. Banks have been lending out their customers' deposits ever since, creating what we call credit today. This system creates a lot of problems for the average person. It means that when you deposit your paycheck into your bank account, it doesn't stay there very long. Your bank needs to pay off their loans and give you back some money so they can lend it out again. This creates inflation because more money is being created than the actual goods and services available in the world at any given time. It's also a problem because banks are able to lend out more money than they actually have in deposits. This is called fractional reserve lending, and it means that if you deposit $100 into your bank account, they can lend out $900 without having the resources available to pay off all their depositors at once. This is how banks make money. They don't actually lend out your money, they just create more of it through fractional reserve lending. This process is called credit expansion, and it's one of the main reasons why we have inflation. When banks create new money through fractional reserve lending, it's like adding air to a balloon. The size of the balloon increases, but its value doesn't. If a bank makes a $900 loan to someone, for example, that person can spend it on goods and services. The seller of those goods and services then deposits the money in their bank account. This means that there's now $1,800 in the economy instead of just $1,000, but this doesn't make us richer or better off as a whole. It just means that we have more money chasing after the same amount of resources. Banks are one of the most important financial problems our modern economy has created, and it needs to be fixed as fast as possible. But that can't be done. Right? The banks are too big to fail and they know it. We need to break up the big banks, cap interest rates at a reasonable level, and make sure that people who want loans can get them. This can't happen overnight, we need to spread awareness fast. If you want to know more about the problem of banks, how they work, and how we can fix them, then I highly recommend reading The Shock Doctrine by Naomi Klein. The book gives a good introduction to how banks work and why they are so important. It also explains how we can fix the problem of banks. If you want to know more about the problem of banks, how they work, and how we can fix them, feel free to read that part of her book, or even the whole book if you are interested in the rise of disaster capitalism. If you like this type of content, subscribe for more. At the end of the day, if you can't beat them, join them.